inflation's now reached a point where just they can't ignore it any longer without fear that it's going to spill over into longer term consequences. So they had to act now.
After a period of historically low borrowing rates, the Bank of Canada has raised its overnight rate, only slightly for now, in a bid to curb rising inflation.
The trend down and then keeping it down. No, this is unprecedented. The depression, some people might say, is kind of the template, but we're not in an economic depression. Even at kind of the worst of COVID, we weren't in an economic depression. So it really is kind of a unique set of circumstances. And it's really just kind of going from one crisis to another over the last decade.
Moshe Lander says some of the seeds of the situation Canada's economy is in now were laid during the 2008 financial crisis. Since 2012, the overnight rate has never risen above 2%, a bid to encourage spending and spur growth. During COVID, it dropped as low as 0.25%, but inflation is now above 5%, a rate not seen since the 90s. Raising interest rates is considered an orthodox approach to fighting inflation, but Canadian homeowners and the housing market could be rattled by the rise in rates.
The increase in the interest rates now is going to show up as soon as in the next 2 weeks for anybody with a variable rate mortgage.
If we are going to have sustained growth in interest rates, it will be clearly something that they want to have to, be careful, because it could bust the housing bubble, so to speak, there. It could create trouble.
Mario Secaricia is a retired economics professor. He says the bank will be watching closely what happens next. He says while real wages for many Canadians have declined since COVID began, those who hold assets like government bonds or homes saw their value go up, meaning the rise in rates won't affect all Canadians equally. There's also expectation that the rate won't stay at 0.5%.
I would say that if I had to kind of place my betting money on an overnight rate, they're not done at 0.5. They're probably going to say 1.25 before the end of this year.
In Ottawa, Xiaoli Li, City News.